Countless times, Patricia Mabuku has bundled her malaria-infected children into a canoe in a desperate bid to get them to the local clinic before the killer disease gets them. But today she is crossing the river not in haste, but in hope. Hope that recent rumours about boats full of bed nets are true.
There is a lot of malaria in our village because there are lots of mosquitoes. They live and breed by the river. A bed net will be very helpful because it will help protect my youngest children. The older ones can look after themselves, but the net will help look after the little ones.
And speeding to her children's aid are the members of an extraordinary expedition who are using more modern craft to deliver an age-old message. Prevention is better than cure. Supported by the Rollback Malaria campaign and sponsored by NGOs and private companies, the expedition is roaring down the entire 2,500-kilometre length of the Zambezi River, from source to sea, providing remote villages with bed nets, as well as helping to focus attention on malaria, still the #1 killer of young children in communities all along the river.
We are trying to turn this lifeline of Southern Africa into a river of life for those threatened by malaria, because this river unites 6 countries, and by traveling down this river and by highlighting the challenges and successes in fighting malaria, we hope to raise awareness both locally and internationally to finally really getting the scale up we all want to in fighting this disease.
Too often this fight has been clouded by competing programs and priorities, but a clear consensus is now emerging, based on the use of insecticide-treated bed nets, indoor spraying of insecticides, and a more effective combination of drugs. A flood of new money is set to boost this ambitious strategy and hopefully lead to a sizable fall in malaria. But countries need to build better bridges between their individual programs, because as the theme of this year's Malaria Day highlights, this is a disease without borders.
That it has no borders, that is a very good theme, because we are all together along the Zambezi River, and this is where the malaria is so endemic in these areas. So if we work to tackle the malaria both sides, I think it will go a long way.
Towards achieving the goal that 5 countries along the Zambezi have established, to work together to reduce the overall malaria mortality in riverside communities by 50%, which is why governments along the river are supporting the expedition, and why the people of Silumbu are so keen to get their hands on such a prized possession. And while the expedition waves farewell and heads off to help other communities further downriver, Patricia and her children head for home, knowing that they will all sleep much more safely from now on. This is Richard Lee on the Zambezi River in southern Africa, reporting for UNICEF Television. Unite for Children.